What is going on, everybody? It is I, the Conservative Coin Collector. Hello. Today I'm continuing my series on the complete history of. I started with the penny, then I veered off and did every discontinued coin, and then I did the nickel. Now I'm doing the dime. It may not be America's smallest coin, but it's also America's smallest coin at the same time. Where did the dime come from? What's going to be the future of it? Well, I can tell you it starts in the very beginning in the 1790s, and the dime is still being minted to this day. It's got a long history, way longer than the nickel, and the history of the dime is pretty dang interesting. So with that being said, I'm the Conservative Coin Collector. You know to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon, and well, on to the video. The complete history of the United States dime. Thank you for watching. It is spelled D-I-S-M-E, but I'm just going to call it a dime. The Coinage Act of 1792, it passed on April 2nd of that year, authorized the mintage of a dime, 1/10 the silver weight and value of $1. The composition of the dime was set at 89.24% silver and 10.6% copper. In 1792, a limited number of dimes were minted but never circulated. Some of these were struck in copper, indicating that in 1792, dimes were in fact a pattern coin. The first dimes minted for circulation did not appear until 1796. Due to lack of demand for the coin and production problems at the United States Mint. The Draped Bust dime. The Draped Bust dime is next. It was minted from 1796 to 1807. The first dime to be circulated was the Draped Bust dime in 1796. It featured the same obverse and reverse as all the other circulating coins at the time. It was the so-called Draped Bust or Small Eagle design. The design was the work of then Chief Engraver Robert Scott. The portrait of Liberty on the obverse was based on a Gilbert Stuart drawing of prominent Philadelphia socialite Anne William Bingham, who was the wife of noted American statesman William Bingham. The reverse design is of a small bald eagle surrounded by palm and olive tree branches. It is perched on a cloud. Since the Coinage Act of 1792 required that only the cent and the half-cent display their denomination, the Draped Bust dimes were minted with no indication of what their value is whatsoever. The Draped Bust design was succeeded by the Capped Bust. It was designed by Assistant Mint Engraver John Reich. Both the obverse and the reverse were changed extensively. The new reverse featured a bald eagle grasping 3 arrows, symbolizing strength, an olive branch symbolizing peace, and covering the eagle's breast was the U.S. shield with the 6 horizontal lines and 13 vertical stripes. Also on the reverse is the lettering 10C, making it the only dime minted with the value given in cents. The lack of numeric value markings on the subsequent dime coin causes some confusion amongst foreign visitors, who may be unaware of the value of the coin. Also, the Capped Bust dime was the first dime to have the value written on the coin. Previous designs of the dime had no indication of its value, and the way people determined the value of it was by its size. Interesting fact, there were 123 varieties known of Capped Bust dimes. The City of Liberty dime replaced the Capped Bust dime, and it was in circulation from 1837 until 1891. Christian Goldberg completed the design of the City of Liberty, and its obverse was It was reminiscent of every coin of that period. Every coin had that obverse design. Robert Maskell Patterson, who was the mint director, requested that a new coin design reminiscent of the Britannia found on coins of the United Kingdom he wanted that particular design. Chief engraver William Neese drew the original sketches, but unfortunately he had suffered a stroke and was too ill to finish them or to oversee preparation of the dies. The task fell then to Gobrecht, who was promoted to second engraver. The obverse features an image of Liberty sitting on a rock, wearing a dress and holding a staff, with a Liberty cap on the top of her head. Her right hand is balancing a shield with the inscription of Liberty. The reverse features the inscription 1 dime, surrounded by a wreath. All City Liberty dimes contain 90% silver and 10% copper, and are 17.9 millimeters or 0.705 inches in diameter. This size and metal composition would continue until 1965, when silver was permanently removed from circulating dimes. The Barber dime. The Barber dime was minted from 1892 until 1916. The Barber dime is named for its designer, Charles E. Barber, who was chief engraver of the U.S. Mint from 1879 until 1917. The design was shared with the quarter and the half dollar of the same period. Extensive internal politics surrounded the awarding of the design job, which had initially been opened to John Q. Public. A four-member committee, which included Barber, then appointed Mint Director James Kimball. He accorded only 2 of more than 300 submissions and an honorable mention. Kimber's successor, Edward O. Leach, decided to dispense with the committee and public design competition and simply instructed Barber to develop a new design. It had been speculated this is what Barber had wanted all along. The Barber dime, as with all previous dimes, features an image of Liberty on the obverse. She is wearing a Farragut cap and a laurel wreath on a ribbon with a headband, and that headband has the inscription of Liberty. This inception is one of the key elements used in determining the condition of Barber dimes. Liberty's portrait was inspired by 2 sources: French coins and medals of the period, as well as ancient Greek and Roman sculpture. The obverse also contains the long-used 13 stars for the 13 colonies design element. The reverse contained a wreath and the inscription, almost identical, used on the final design of the Seat of Liberty dime. Dimes were produced at all 4 mints that operated during the period. While circulated coins throughout the entire series are readily available to the collectors, there was one outstanding rarity, the 1894 S. Barber dime. 24 were minted and 9 are currently known. The Winged Liberty Head or Mercury dime. Although most commonly referred to as the Mercury dime, the Winged Liberty Head does not depict the Roman messenger god. The obverse figure is a depiction of the mythological goddess Liberty wearing a Farragut cap, a classic Western symbol of liberty and freedom. Its wings intended to symbolize freedom of thought and designed by noted sculptor Adolf A. Weinman. The Winged Liberty Head dime is considered by many to be one of the most beautiful U.S. coin designs ever produced. The composition is 90% silver and 10% copper and is the same 17.9 millimeters. Of the Mercury dime, it was basically unchanged from the Barber dime other than the design. Weinman, who had studied under Augustus St. Gaudens won a 1915 competition against two other artists for the design job, and it is thought to have modeled his version of liberty on Elise Stevens, who was wife of noted poet Wallace Stevens. The reverse design, a fascist juxtaposed with an olive branch, was intended to symbolize America's readiness for war, combined with its desire for peace. Although the fascist was later adopted by Benito Mussolini for his National Fascist Party, the symbol was also common in American iconography, and has generally avoided any stigma with its usage in wartime Italy. The dime I have for you is the final one on this list. It is one dime that is currently being made to this day. The one that bears the image of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Soon after the death of FDR in April 1945, legislation was introduced by Virginia Congressman Ralph H. Dalton that called for the replacement of the Mercury dime with one bearing Roosevelt's image. The dime was chosen to honor Roosevelt partly due to his efforts in founding the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis. Later, it was renamed the March of Dimes, which originally raised money for polio research and to aid victims of the disease and their families. The reason Roosevelt helped found that organization is because Roosevelt himself actually got polio. He was diagnosed with the disease at age 30, and it left him bound to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Due to the limited amount of time that was available to design the new coin, the Roosevelt dime was the first regular issue U.S. coin designed by a Mint employee in more than 40 years. John R. Shannock, who was the chief engraver at the time, was chosen, and he had already designed a Mint Presidential Medal of Roosevelt. Shannock's first design was submitted on October 12, 1945, but was rejected, and subsequently one was accepted on January 6, 1946. The dime was released to the public on January 30th, 1946, on what would have been Roosevelt's 64th birthday. Shannock's design placed his initials JS at the base of Roosevelt's neck. That was on the coin's obverse. On the reverse, he placed elements of a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolized respectively liberty, peace, and strength. With the passage of the Coin Act in 1965, the composition of the dime changed from 95% silver and 10% copper to a clad sandwich of pure copper and two outer layers. It's called copper nickel. It is 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, giving the total composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. This composition was selected because it gave similar mass and electrical properties to ones that were put in vending machines, and they found that these ones contained no precious metals, but the way they did it, the vending machines couldn't tell a difference. There you have it, the complete history of the humble 10-cent coin, where it started and where it is today. It's had quite a history, and I'm glad to have covered it. In the next video, I'm covering the quarter. And who knows where the series is going to go after this. My name is a conservative coin collector. You don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon. Until next time, I'm signing off. I bid you all adieu. Bye-bye.